Hey everybody, just doing a little bit of a table update today. Thought I'd just show off my Flemish Mercenaries for Saga to use with my Anglo-Danes. Pretty happy with the way these guys came out. I went with a fairly simple sort of color scheme. It's a little bit more regimented than my normal Anglo-Danes, which I paint a bit more like Vikings. Actually, I got a straggler over here too. There we go. I just sort of, in order to make them kind of look a bit more like a standout unit, Mercenaries, I guess I have them as having like a, often I see the Flemish as blue and white, even in Saga with colors, so I just used the blue and white scheme and tried to make just a little variation in the shields, but kind of make them have that sort of color scheme to tie them all together and make them stand out on the table. I like these miniatures from Gripping Beast. I do like these better than some of the ones I got in my Anglo-Danes starter set. In particular, there's a couple that I really quite like the faces on, and then some just you can't see because of the kind of helmets. But like this guy here, see if I can get a good. This face actually, you know, it's pretty nice, the sculpted face there as well. And then this one would be an example where you really can't see the face at all with the type of covering he has on his face. You can barely just make his eyes out in there. So that didn't worry too much about that. I have a couple of guys with swords and then mostly spears. It came with 2 swords. So, you know, these guys are fairly heavily armored. Like I mentioned, I like to do my black and bolt gunmetal or lead belcher mix for the chainmail, and then I do oftentimes straight lead belcher or other metallics to show the other pieces of metal and accent that. In some cases I did that with this guy here. He has a lot of sort of components on his chainmail, and so I painted those the lighter color. But I like this dark look. It's sort of a dark shiny look and I quite like it. I've used that now quite a bit. Light covering here is coming off as we speak. But yeah, so that's actually what I've primarily been working on. What I've also been working on, I'm not quite finished. I almost did this guy as a display, but I still have a little bit of details to do that I've been noticing, because there's just lots of little bits on this. But I put this guy together. This is my Snotling pump wagon, and I still have a little bit of details to do, but he's pretty much done. And I'm excited to use this guy in the game just for Age of Sigmar. It'll be a lot of fun. Snotlings are all over the place on this model, so I just glued them all on. Kind of zoom in, you can see you've got one guy literally sitting on this rotating bar while the other guy over here is pushing on it or pulling it. See that bar? The other guy is sitting on the other side. This guy's hanging off, this guy's hanging here. We've got one guy, the other guy on his shoulders with a slingshot up here. Let's see here. And one guy steering a rudder, another guy blaring a horn, waving a flag. They're kind of all over the place. I really like this model though. It's a really beautiful model. It's got a nice heft to it because this is all metal, which I quite like. And so it's definitely got a nice heft to it. So yeah. So that's pretty much what I'm working on at the moment. I've been working on I'm just about finished with my stone tower. I've got not too much more to do, and I'll do an update on that for those of you who remember that I was working on that. And yeah, I've got I guess some other things in the works here that I can show. But, well, you know what? I've just started assembling some stuff. I'll actually show that next week. It's not it's not even primed, so it's not really anything to really show off at this point. But I'll talk about that later. Hope you guys are having a good weekend, or the start of a new week, depending on when you're watching this, and talk to you later.